Hello, beautiful people. Mike the Cop here. And if you are watching on YouTube, you are in for a treat. This is the full video of our podcast, Off the Cuff. Myself and Dave talk about our week in review, a little bit of in the news, and then we talk about this whole walkout thing in schools this last week, what our take is on that. Enjoy. And side note, we had a setting in our audio when we were recording that allowed us to peak our audio a lot, so it was clipping a lot. We fixed it the best we could. We know that the problem exists. Appreciate you listening through it. Turn your volume down a little bit. You'll be fine. You'll make it through. But if you comment about it, well, I'm just not going to answer because I'm telling you now, it exists. And I know. Good day. Oh, yeah. I don't know about you, Dave, but I'm in the mood to podcast.
I am in the mood for love.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why I brought my wife along today.
Guys, we have heard your complaints about our lack of diversity.
Yeah.
And we fixed the problem.
Well noted. Mm-hmm.
We take every contact seriously.
Every one.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Your opinion matters to us. So you were tired of 3 white males.
Disgusting.
Every week you feel like
Disgusting.
We are flaunting our privilege in your faces.
And
in
there
your
was times
ears.
when I was.
And I'm going to be honest. I've really realized over the last week or so that I have really adopted every single privilege that whiteness affords. And I'm just crushing the hearts, the minds, the ears of every single listener every time I open my mouth. Why? I'm white.
It hurts.
I was born this way. It doesn't matter.
Is there a reason why you have those sunglasses on?
That's a good question. Mike?
I'm glad you asked. I'm doing.
Funny thing is, we have headphones on, so it's like you can't pick up my voice from anywhere. Yeah, just like your joke was.
Where is
ruined.
he? Where?
Good Lord now. Jesus.
So we have a blind guy.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
That changes the game because you can't criticize a blind guy even if he's white. So I got that going for me now. And then Dave brought.
I can't hear.
Can't hear you. Dave brought his wife Joyce. We don't have. Do we have? Can we have video proof that she's diverse?
Hold on. Does she not want to be on video? Or?
I don't know what she wants. Who cares? She's got to up our quotient.
It doesn't matter what she wants. She's a woman.
The government has demanded equality, and we're going to give it to them.
Yeah, dang it.
Hold on.
We have to
I wasn't
force feed it
expecting
down
this.
people's
Also,
throats.
the reason you see our listeners would never know that we're late starting this podcast. And you know what? For the first time, our tardiness wasn't because of Dave.
Right?
It was because of the underpaid producer,
Yeah. Yep.
showing yet again why he remains underpaid. This is why.
Yep.
So do we have a live feed of the token podcast guest?
Tourist.
Hold on.
Yes.
All right, hold on. Let me get this all loaded up. You can't just demand things from me, okay?
See? Because
Here.
if any other producer,
I
you'd be
can
able to demand
there, There we are.
oh, and they'd be
Look how
gone, long
crooked
gone.
My hat is.
Yes.
There we are.
So
I
What
just showed.
what all does she need? She's Asian.
I have a broken foot, so I'm handicapped.
She's handicapped.
She's a lesbian.
She's lesbian,
Best wife ever.
and she's she's a quarter Indian, American. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Native American.
Yeah.
She is half black,
She's mostly half, 48%.
and
We looked it up on Google.
also she is liberal on some things and conservative on others. So she's both.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that you know whatever.
And she's a stark constitutionalist, except for when she has to be.
okay. So there you have it.
How's my voice coming across?
In reality, this is not Joyce. When Dave and I came back from our fated trip to Thailand, we actually brought someone back with us. And now that she can be considered a dreamer, she's here. And nothing You can say anyone can stop us.
And nothing can stop that dream.
Nothing's going to stop the dream. And if we are a sanctuary podcast. And so if you...
This is considered. This is.
I'm over.
We did our best.
We did our best with that. I can't even spout that out of sarcasm. All right, guys, welcome to the show. As usual, we're gonna go off the cuff.
Yes.
We've got some stuff. to talk about. We'll get there,
Oh yeah.
or we won't.
Well,
You know how that goes.
That happens most of the time. Yes.
You know how that goes. Let's. You know what? We need a little week in review. A lot going on. I've had a pretty crappy week.
Uh-oh.
Good. It's been good and bad. There's been good and bad to it, like all days. But
So
do we have some week in review?
This is embarrassing.
Oh man!
Oh my God.
I don't know which one it is.
You know what? How about this? Whatever you play is what we're gonna have to go off of now.
I actually have it queued up, but I wasn't hearing it, so.
Oh man!
This is something else.
Even people driving in their cars going,
Yeah.
"Well, this is embarrassing."
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What it was?
That's why I'm confused.
That sounded like somebody.
Sounded like you were begging for your life.
Yeah.
See, that's the unedited one. Let's try it. Let's try this one.
Let's do this for an hour.
Because this is.
See,
No. What are you doing?
Oh, you know what? This guy's done.
hold
DUN.
on. Let me
You
look
heard
for
of
it. Real quick.
creating folders?
Oh, is this it?
This guy's dead. DED.
Is this it?
Because this is.
This is the freaking week in review.
Oh, you can't even hear this.
Oh,
She
too
can put
bad.
headphones on if she wants.
Yeah,
Let's do it one more time. Yeah. Here
Yeah.
you go. Here, you got to hear.
I don't know how far they'll reach, but
All right, this is our week in review. You haven't heard our latest tunes. Did she not hear our intro?
She doesn't listen to the podcast, it would seem.
No, she doesn't. My wife doesn't listen to the podcast, Mike.
Interesting.
all right. Are you ready?
Mine doesn't either.
What the hell?
I might
know.
need to unwrap it in a second.
You know
Those
why?
you know who hurts? It's those that are closest to each other in life that hurt each other the most. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Isn't that true?
Yeah. Well, it's one-sided in this case for
Yeah.
both of us, and I feel bad for you, and I'm sure you
You
feel
and
bad
your
for
lesbian
me.
wife, get out of my face.
So okay, we ready for the week in review? No interruptions.
Because this is.
This is the freaking week in review.
Because this.
It looped. It looped.
You know what?
It started to loop.
You're loopy.
Man.
Remember when he said that he was gonna buy me that?
I don't remember.
that program.
I remember you asking and us laughing in your face about it.
And that what you heard earlier with you begging for your life was when you actually that was
please
how
don't.
it played out.
Yeah, what kind of audio recordings do you have?
I was probably. I
we're
was
not
probably
here.
like, look at. Okay, so on the desktop.
Wouldn't it be funny if like there's like hidden videos somewhere on him, and it's like him pretending to be Batman or Bruce Wayne, like, and he's like, "Where's the girl?" and he's like acting out for the camera or something like that.
Even better, what if he was pretending to be us?
See, so on the desktop there is
Oh my
week
gosh.
in review,
Oh,
week in
here we
review
go.
final, week in review again, and then there is week in review with like 6 W's, and that's the final one. So
It's like one of those Xbox usernames.
Believe me,
like small x, big X, small x, small x.
that's how I do mine.
Paint lover LOVRRR
69
6969 capital X, small x, capital X
underscore.
yeah 24
I know.
397.
I'm telling you, but I do that like again with writing. Every time if I have a new thing, I'm like, what do I name it this time? And I do the exact same, and I'll like put like an exclamation mark after it.
That's
you
how I do
know.
my passwords. When they expire, I go like !1, !2, !3.
I do too.
When I left Southgate, I was like up to !26 or something like that on my like computer password.
Ours won't even let you do that now because now it gets mad at you and goes, no, it's too close to the old one. Yeah, and it makes us do like it's just ridiculous.
It's like I love how it's like your password's not strong enough now, and like
Oh yeah.
I would be like 8 8GT6
Oh, completely random, very difficult.
FLK exclamation 27.
Yeah.
Who is going to randomly guess that?
And like the level of it only goes
Not
up like
strong
a little
enough.
bit. Not strong
What-
enough.
what-
It's like 2 green bars. And you're like, there's 15.
This isn't
this
isn't a Mission Impossible movie here, people. I
know.
don't like. No one wants to check my email.
I know, I'm doing the same thing at work. Like, who's going to actually sign on to my computer? Like my computer sign on. That's not going to get found out at some point anyway.
Oh my goodness! It's
If
so
I'm not
terrible.
working, I mean, it's not that hard, you know. And what are they going to do with that?
I don't know. I could use this whiskey. I could. This is
Good for you.
I need this. That's Canadian maple whiskey. It's all right. You know. All right. Week in review. Tell me what your week. I kind of like. While we were waiting for the underpaid producer to actually go get equipment necessary to do what we do here.
Right. You know the basics.
You know what?
What we're just saying.
He was going to. He tried to pass off his mistake to put me on some cheap ass webcam.
He did too. He did. Now he's using it.
Yeah.
He wanted
what
me
I
to be
use
on this.
normally.
He's moving the. You really washed out. I'm going to change the lighting. We should be good to go.
so, yes.
And thankfully, our diversity team, led by Joyce, she
She was on the spot.
was like, "Listen,
Diversity team.
I don't think your dad is going to like this. I'm just going to put it out there. This is low quality."
And what did he do right away?
And for someone that doesn't even watch us or listen to us ever, I appreciate her standing up for us.
I know. And not just that, but if she wasn't
That's
here,
why she's there. She's the guardian of diversity.
if she wasn't here, you would be on this little thing right
I
now
would-
because he wouldn't have gone. He wouldn't have done
He
it.
wouldn't have done it.
Absolutely
You know what?
not.
I am realizing now he only did that to look good in front of Joyce.
Yo,
He would have been like,
it's so cute.
He would have stood there and been like, "Well, you know what? It's better than nothing. Do you want me to throw this webcam on the ground and break
That's-
it and step on it? Because
that's
then
true.
you'll be on
You
nothing.
would have too.
I'm just
I have
gonna
to look good
I'm
when
just-
there's guests
I'm
around.
only going to put Dave on the podcast. What do you think of that? You want to shut up and be on the webcam? I would have been the victim of elder abuse.
That's exactly what would have happened to you, Mike.
You know it's true.
Oh my
and
God.
you know
We
it's
should
true.
have guests in
Yeah.
here more often, I guess.
I guess so.
Meanwhile, Joyce is over there singing his praises. Oh, you're so nice.
He's such a sweet boy.
Oh, he loves Jesus. And meanwhile, he'd be like mother effing us and
Oh,
breaking
yeah.
the webcam
Yeah, and
if she wasn't here.
Always throwing things at us, like pens and crumpled up paper.
All that his strength can muster.
What was that one? Man, what was that movie where he's like, you're next, man. Like, oh god, dang it.
I don't know.
Ugh.
Don't know.
Well, this is part of the weekend review for me. Is I haven't slept
For a
Joyce,
week?
Joyce, when's the last time I slept?
Maybe 4 days ago.
It's been a long time.
What's wrong with you? How do you do it?
I don't. Oh, I'm gonna die tomorrow. I forgot to tell you. That's the weekend coming.
Are you
up.
staying up? Are you staying alive with brave energy?
Title this
Ooh,
is-
I like that.
We should just title this as Dave's last podcast.
Dave's last spot.
Dave's dying.
Oh my
Dave's
gosh.
gonna die tomorrow.
Yes.
Dave is staying awake with brave energy. BeBrave.com for those who dare.
For those who dare.
For those who dare to stay alive for 4 days
This is
and
like,
then die.
I was like, maybe I should make that my account. Hi, we're from Brave Energy. It's BeBrave.com, and if you're tired and need energy, or you have an active lifestyle, Brave is for you. Give it a try today at full price.
At full price. I like that actually.
All right. So, okay, so you haven't slept.
Yeah, no, I've been working a lot of overtime. The shift picks have been up, and I put it out on Snapchat. And what's my Snapchat again? So that people know, because I really enjoy
Big Daddy D.
I really enjoy talking to people. It's really fun. I did not think that I was going to enjoy it, but
Is it
I do.
Big
People
Daddy-
give me shit all the time.
Good. I'm glad they do.
yeah, no, it's he Big Daddy D.
He, Big Daddy D.
He Big Daddy D.
6969XXX.
Underscore.
No, he, Big Daddy D. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's on Snapchat. So if you're listening and you're one of the Snapchatters out
Yeah,
there,
it's fun.
add Dave and
Yeah,
you
I
guys
forgot
can
where I
mock
was
me
going with
behind
that.
my back.
Yeah. Oh, and we do.
Well,
We
of course
do.
you're going to forget where you're going because you haven't slept in 4
I know.
days.
It's seriously, it's been a rough.
Tell me about the hallucinations. Are you aware?
I don't
Is it
believe they
mixing
are hallucinations.
Is it mixing in with
So,
reality now?
I don't believe they're hallucinations. I think they're real. And so I
understand why Joyce is with you now. She's actually keeping you from being harm to yourself or others.
That's right. I can't operate heavy machinery.
She's like the people that go and take ecstasy, but they need like a guide, and they actually have a friend who doesn't get high at the same time. Yes.
Yep.
You have to have someone watch it overwatch, so that you don't hurt yourself.
And that's how it is. And so I have been, and shift change.
One of the greatest, and greatest not in terms of like level of fun. I'm just saying intensity fights that I ever had at work was with someone who jumped out of a car high on synthetic narcotics that he made at home with a kit, and his guard, the guy watching him who wasn't high, while he was tripping, he just jumped out of the car, and then they just left him. They were tired of trying to watch him, and after he threw urine on a gas station attendant and ran from us with one shoe, the fight was on, and it was so insane.
Wow.
I'm telling you, when you're on that
synthetic stuff is
holy crap,
crazy.
He didn't feel pain. There was no pain compliance,
right,
at all.
It doesn't exist. I didn't. Mine was. I finally back. Well, this was still a little bit now when bath salts was up and coming. the next
the
thing.
latest craze.
Yeah. There was a female that we believe was on it because she would obviously never admit to it, but she kept getting going elevated, and we ended up taking her for disorderly, and she kept getting worse and worse and worse, and we had to take her to the hospital. And and it's funny because somebody on Snapchat was asking about it, like,
you won't catch me, Peter Rabbit.
Well, it was way worse than that, and the person on Snapchat is asking me about it, like, what is it? And I said, what was it like? I said it was like a female exorcism. Like she was actually having, she was a member, like having an exorcism done on her.
The power of Dave compels you.
That wasn't going well for anybody.
Yeah.
Like it was so bad. I mean, she's trying to tear her clothes off, and she's just saying, like her voice changed, and she was like thriving. Like it was insane, and she was just. And the things she was saying, Mike, well, I gotta tell you,
I never even thought those things.
I
let alone said them out loud.
I didn't know I didn't even know. I had to look some of the words up. So yeah, it was pretty.
Wow, that is not appropriate.
I'm like, hold on. Oh, you're kidding me? No, it was pretty brutal. So I mean, obviously, I think pretty much every officer that's been on the road for a little while has come in across something like that with the synthetic stuff. The spice, the bath
know a
salts,
Houston cop. He says PCP is super common out there. And
that's crazy.
It's just nuts.
For us,
so he encounters it all the time. I'm just like, man, how annoying is that going to be?
Yeah, that's
horrible. So, what were you saying? Something about shift change?
Oh yeah. See, my bookmark. Joyce, bookmark. Yeah. So shift changes are happening, but now we have like a glitch in it. So I picked days. I was coming to days. I'm coming to days, but
you're changing teams.
It depends, right? If so now things get messed up because now we have some school resource officers. Big surprise! It's happening. So it's going to open up different spots. So people may end up repicking. So I don't know where I'll be.
You're not going to be a school resource officer.
No, I am not.
Okay.
No, I'm not. Although I play one on TV. But I will not. So that's kind of a big thing up in the air. So that's actually pretty big news for me to even debate going to day shift and for the summertime and probably stay there for hopefully the rest of my career.
When I made the switch to day shift finally, after years of midnights, I didn't realize how much of a fog that I lived in.
That's everyone says that.
Everyone. I had learned to. That was normal, right? So that you just don't realize how much of like after a few weeks you're kind of like, huh?
Yeah,
I can hear things better.
I hear that.
I can see things better.
I feel
food tastes.
I feel more vibrant.
Food tastes good.
Food tastes better. Well, it's coming from a guy. I work midnights. I work a ton of overtime because I'm working on an AFC.
We're just not designed to do that.
And we're not. We are not designed to do that. So, but I've been doing midnights for so many years.
Right.
And so all of a sudden it's going to be this change. So we'll see if that's going to be a change
yet,
but it's going to be a change very soon, if
most
not
guys,
this time around.
especially with our personality, we prefer midnights.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. And so you kind of I always missed the vibe
Yeah,
of Midnights.
absolutely.
But I couldn't go back. I had the chance to go back to Midnights, and I just was like, and even with a good boss, I'm just like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I once I got used to day shift again, I was like, yeah, I hate day shift, but I also like having a normal feeling
life.
head and life afterward.
You're a human being again, so that's good. So your week in review. Talk to me. You've been a little bit you look a little frustrated.
Yeah.
You look flustered.
I feel better. I kind of like pulled up the little couch, for you and Joyce, and kind of really talked it through.
Right.
It felt good just to
felt
express myself.
weird because I was already laying on the couch when you did that, but
yeah, I was out of town in Tampa, which a lot of good came from the trip. It was we accomplished a lot, I think, but it was also very busy, and it makes you it wears you down. Like 3 days between the travel and all the work and less sleep on the road kind of a thing, and I just
any traveling
just
will
wiped
do that.
out by the time I got home last night. And the big stress was being away from my family while when I landed,
because you love them so much.
We'll go with that. And then I landed, and you turn the airplane mode on for absolutely no reason because the FAA says so.
Yeah.
It really is. I don't even want to get off on that tangent.
No.
About travel safety.
That's going to be an hour in a different direction.
We need
need
an episode on travel, the TSA and other travel
etiquette
and rules. Okay. By the way, check out a hilarious Instagram page called Passenger Shaming, where people submit photos of people on planes being raging a-holes.
Dude, did you see that one of that little video of that female airing her underwear out?
No.
Oh my gosh! Did you guys see that?
Did you hear about United
my
Airlines
gosh.
making their dog go up in the overhead and the dog died?
Yeah, I'm still wondering about that though.
Did you hear about
wondering about what's up with that?
Did you hear about the therapy hamster? That
I didn't. That was real. I wouldn't even hear that. I just saw you making a joke just now.
I don't know what the whole story is. This is another one that sounds sort of fishy.
Yeah. See, the dog one sounds fishy to
okay,
me, but
so the therapy this is more of an in the news sort of segment, but I heard about this during my week, so we'll throw it into the weekend review.
okay, yeah.
All right, so my understanding of the situation without ever looking at a single news source
which is good enough for me.
It's good enough for news these days.
It's good enough for this podcast, that's for
You
sure.
can call me an editor. The therapy hamster.
Does it wear like the little apron thing?
I think there's a little not a vest, but almost like one of those little cloth saddles that go over.
That's
like
what I mean,
dog.
like the little thing, and it's got like the little leather, like thing, like the
it did,
dog.
and it was harnessed. I think maybe to be walked.
That's so ridiculous. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
Go ahead. Tell me the real news on this.
the therapy hamsters, as they try to get on the plane, like, well, the hamster can't come on here. Which, to be fair, why can you bring dogs and not your hamster? I don't know why. That doesn't seem fair.
It seems less.
Now, this coming from a guy who does not think that dogs belong on a plane. Period.
Yeah, that's.
I can't stand it when I see these crates, people bringing cats and dogs in the plane.
I think it's the strangest.
First
thing.
of all, you can't serve me freaking. What's that?
USA Today's about the hamster
Oh, nice.
on the plane.
Ooh, see, she is a better producer.
Hey. Yeah, what's happening over there?
I don't see her mixing all of your audio and switching.
She doesn't have
back
to. You
and
already
forth.
did it.
You are.
So
Do something better.
Hey, let's go back in time and rewind this episode to when you screwed that up.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say
About that.
I complimented him on his flannel. He's looking fly today.
Let me see.
Yeah, you're very sharp.
Yeah. See this? I
No, his hair's not
I don't
done.
I was
look
gonna
so-
say your hair looks
Okay.
funny.
Here's what happened.
Oh, we
So,
are
he's
now,
like,
so here we
my
are.
my week in review.
I haven't even finished the hamster story.
Just finish yours and then I'll do mine.
Listen,
Gotta
my
hog the
understanding.
spotlight.
What's
Mike
odd-
the cop.
What-
I have over 500,000 people on Facebook. I'm verified now.
verified.
I have the
Oh my
blue check
gosh.
mark. I'm so important. Look at me flex my virtual army.
I would use the word mobilize.
This guy's
not
got
flex.
chops over
He's got
here. I
jokes
like
today.
it. Yeah.
All right. So my understanding, and Joyce, who is actually reading real news, maybe if the USA Today is real news, I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
They told her she couldn't bring it on. I hate animals on a plane. Period.
It's weird. Yeah.
Enough of these mother effing animals on the mother effing plane. Awkward staring at the
It was like
camera.
we were just waiting for like a response from an audience.
Yeah,
It's
I was
not
waiting
there.
for the drop.
Yeah.
I was waiting for some enough of these mother effing
Even
snakes.
applause would have been nice.
Yeah.
Listen,
Joyce would have put that.
listen. I'm trying. I'm trying to get the in the news just in case we do it. I like dragged it over there.
He's all ready with the button. He's like ready to clicky click click.
So let's throw that out there. I don't want any animals on my plane unless they're in the belly of the plane with my luggage.
I agree.
But
if you're
make
going
a little-
to-
make a
Wouldn't
little-
they die down
No,
there?
make a little air
That's
conditioned
what
area.
it's for. No, we flew our stupid cat home from Germany. Well, she's not alive anymore. So
God rest her soul.
rest in peace. Pieces. Rest in peace.
That cat.
It's
that
pretty
cat,
bad. Yeah.
That cat. I'm telling you right now, bounded over the Rainbow Bridge.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. Yeah.
You'll be reunited.
The cat
That
actually
great litter
died
box in the
like
sky.
this. The cat was like this. Like, isn't that what they do there?
In the arms of the angel.
Yeah. And well, but that's how we shipped our cat home when I got out of the army.
Did you ship a dead cat or a live cat? I didn't know if you wanted to have it stuffed in. I didn't know if like.
no.
I always wondered what that was at your house. Like, why is this?
That's
dead
not a
cat
cat.
here?
So live cat.
Oh, it's from your ferret hunt.
From Germany.
You went out ferret hunting.
You remember that?
I do.
Yep.
Good trip.
86. So and they put the cat in the belly, I'm sure, of or some C-130. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah.
got a rubber ducks, flying back from China or something.
My
I don't
thing
know.
is, okay, so if you're gonna let dogs and cats on, why not hamsters? What's
at
the
what
issue?
point? At what point does it even freaking matter
Pet
anymore?
fish?
Yeah,
Whatever.
At what point does it matter?
Iguanas? I don't care. At this point.
that would be interesting.
So they told her she couldn't bring it on. She's like, well, what am I supposed to do with it? And supposedly someone from United said, I don't know, like flush it. And so she flushed her therapy hamster,
you
which
freaking
doesn't
kidding
make
me?
any sense.
That's what.
Joyce has had the same face like that you have.
Like
but
I
her
said,
face is
I
like
only,
more
I only heard people
Heard.
telling
This
me
is
about
kind
the
of-
story.
This is kind of fishy because I think that everybody's out to get United now about every
I
little
agree
thing.
with that.
Spirit. This is Spirit.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's Spirit.
Oh, I just flew Spirit, and hey, everybody dogs on Spirit. I have never had any complaints about Spirit. Their staff has been good.
It's just
They listen.
small seeds.
Weather, yes. Well,
I had to
pay
sit.
for the.
Yeah.
Listen,
I had to sit next to a
I pay-
very large lady
hold on.
who needed
I gotta
a
sit-
belt extender, and she put the bar up between us and was rubbing against me the whole flight.
rubbing against.
So
Essentially.
that's my gripe with Spirit.
Listen, I got more, dude. My weekend review could go on because I have a lot. But listen, I gotta finish. Like, I gotta finish. As far as dogging on Spirit goes, when the last trip to Tampa, remember we had snowpocalypse here.
Yeah.
And I was delayed like 8 hours,
Yeah.
10 hours, and getting home. I didn't ask anything, and it wasn't their fault.
Right.
It was not their fault at all.
Right. I'm sure there were some heated customers anyway.
Oh,
but yeah.
absolutely. They sent me the next day that I got home a voucher and an email said, "We're sorry that all happened. Here's $50 voucher. Use in the next year." I thought that's how business should be done.
Yeah, that was nice,
It wasn't
yeah.
even their fault, and they're saying, "You know what? We're really sorry that you were inconvenienced. Here's this." I pay for the big seat upgrade because I will still save.
Yes.
I will save 60% off of a Delta flight by flying
most of the
Spirit,
time, yeah.
even with the upgrade. And I'm part of the
And
Fair
the
Club or
the
whatever.
seat will still be
That's
just a bit larger than a regular
yes,
Delta
Yeah.
seat.
but
Yeah.
the reclining part for the big seats in Spirit, because the other regular seats don't recline on Spirit, and the tray is up there, and it was broken,
Oh.
and the steward, flight attendant,
There you go.
taps me on the shoulder while I'm watching my Black Mirror episode of Netflix,
Ooh.
and says, and this is not sponsored by Spirit or Netflix, but if you want to,
Or Black Mirror.
or the show, but we'll talk. The guy says, "Hey, listen, I don't mean to bother you, but obviously you paid for the upgrade of the seat. It's not working. Make sure you contact Spirit and tell them I told you to give you a refund. They're not going to give you a hard time because it's not what you paid for. I was like, oh, thanks, I appreciate that.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm just having a different customer experience with Spirit. I know there's a lot of nightmare stories out there. I'm not one of them.
Let me say something.
I didn't have a dog or a hamster on the plane.
When the tray was broken on a Delta flight that I went on, they took an hour because they had to fix it. They had to fix it. It was like against the regulations. So instead of just like saying,
"Hey, will you eat in your lap?"
So you basically made an issue of it and caused everybody.
No, it
to
wasn't
be late.
me. It was somebody in front of me.
Oh, I thought it was your tray.
You know,
No.
It was his tray.
No.
Definitely your tray.
It definitely was not my tray.
I am sorry.
To fix it.
What's that?
I did not pay $613 to not have this tray.
I want a tray.
I want a tray.
It's
Well,
funny
sir,
because
could you just hold your drink and drink it that way? Yeah, if that's worth $613.
it is.
It is, sir.
And then
It's not.
And then you punch them right in their face. Well, it's
Okay.
What that brings up with different things for me is, it brings me to I want to get another credit card, but I want to get a credit card that will help me with airline.
Yes.
And so it's funny because do you have something like that?
I don't,
because I was actually thinking about getting, because we used to fly Delta all the time. We've
I
been
need
flying
to.
Spirit a little bit more often. But
I don't use a credit card
okay.
for anything in my life. I don't even have one.
Okay.
I literally, it's not an option for me because I don't even have one. Mm-hmm. 2, I have Sky Miles with Delta and the Miles with Spirit.
Yeah. Me
And
too.
I don't know. They run specials with double miles and stuff. Like I feel
I'm
like that's
surprised
enough.
You
but
don't, because you do fly more often than
too much.
I do. Yeah.
I have thought about getting a card specifically for that, but you know the problem with that is that it's so much easier. I have 4 different business debit cards for the different accounts.
Yeah.
It's just so much easier to track with that than it is trying to pay for that stuff on one card and then justify the expenses coming out. It's just a nightmare.
Yeah, I could see that. But
What were you going to
said,
say? You said you had something. I don't remember what it was now. Your weekend review.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about animals. I was going to talk about my nightmare.
Can we title this episode Therapy Dogs and Dave's Last Day on Earth?
Yes.
Actually, it'd probably be better if you just said Dave's last podcast
Yeah, people would freak out. Anyways,
because they love me.
so my girlfriend and her family went to Florida for a vacation for a week, and I had to, I volunteered to go to their house and watch their dog in their house while they were gone. Because their dog's
what a Nancy.
Their dog's 14, 15 years old, so he needs help and all that. My second day being there, I'm sitting there watching TV or something, and I start to hear him struggling, and I look over, and he can't get up, and he's pooping on the carpet.
Oh my
it's not
gosh.
regular poop. It's just straight up diarrhea, like lava. And I'm like, oh.
Good Lord.
I
That's
was
quite a visual.
So I had to.
Leaves nothing to the imagination there.
He wasn't able to get up, so I picked him up, and I dragged him
He makes
out.
it sound like he's in Saving Private Ryan.
I dragged him out the back.
Like that half guy, remember?
So I start to clean up the stain, and he's barking like crazy, and it's 11:30 at night. And so he's barking like crazy to get back in. I'm like, well, I can't wake up the neighbors. So I open up the door and let him back in. But he has poop all over the back of himself. And he goes and sits down in another spot on the carpet. And so then I have to pick him up and put him in the bathtub. And I get poop water all over me because I have to wash him. And there's huge poop clumps stuck in there. So I have to take scissors. I have to go find scissors. And I'm FaceTiming.
For a poop clump?
Craft scissors.
I'm FaceTiming.
He's got little elementary school lefty scissors.
I'm FaceTiming Brooke at this
Even
point.
for the right hand.
I'm FaceTiming Brooke at this point, and she literally keeps muting herself, and her whole family is laughing at me. On the
Of
other
course
end.
they are.
They're all laughing at
I
me.
didn't know this part of the
Yeah,
story. He
you
told me
fell
this.
for it.
You didn't tell me that you FaceTimed them and
Yes.
they were mocking you. While
They
this
were
was happening.
laughing at me.
Oh,
and
that makes it so awesome.
I got so pissed that I said, she was like, and then I found another turd that was in the kitchen, and I stepped on it with my sock. And so I had to take off my sock, and I'm FaceTiming
This is the
Brooke,
greatest weekend
and
review ever.
she's like, wait, are those the socks I got you? And I was like, you know what? I'm so mad right now. I was like, you have no right to be mad right now. And then I was like, I got
Why
it.
are you stuffing a turds with the socks that I bought you.
Say the best that she's even
She,
got.
I was like-
she feels like she has the right to be upset.
I was like-
that he stepped in a turd that her dog put on their
So
carpet.
I said, I love you. I gotta go, and I just hung up the FaceTime. I was so pissed. It was like the worst thing ever.
Dude, he just called it the FaceTime.
The FaceTime.
Yep, probably didn't add an S to it.
Oh,
That's fantastic.
so we've
That's
talked
awesome.
about therapy hamsters.
Yeah.
Bull crap. We talked about your dog experience, my dog
Crap.
experience.
oh my
this
goodness,
week.
who else was
Well, you
affected
didn't talk
by-
about your
You-
experience.
He was also affected because he had to step in and be the man.
You didn't actually talk about your dog experience with everybody.
So
Can we talk about the death of Stephen Hawking?
no.
can we
nobody
talk about the
cares.
memes I sent you?
Oh yeah.
Did I send you any of those?
No, but the staircase.
That's
dude.
one of them. I have more.
The water bottle that's bent.
Oh my gosh, dude, this is.
Dude, there was a chair that was curved down, like the top, the back was broken. It was like Stephen Hawking's office chair for sale, $20, and I was like, oh my goodness, man. I was like, these were within moments of his death. I was like, these savages on the internet.
He was sending me. He
but
kept
let's be
sending me memes, and I'm like, "You're a horrible human," because it's like the worst memes ever.
Hey, I don't care what anybody says. If you are so sad about Hawking's dying, you're
me a
an
break.
idiot.
It's
you
that
are a
faux,
you
it's
are a,
that
you never
faux superiority.
It's
You
not-
never knew him.
You are an absolute. Not even just that, because you could actually feel bad for the passing of somebody that maybe was a celebrity or famous. That you were like, that guy really just did a lot of good, or you know what, that guy's music moved me. I could even see that more, even though I think it's
But
silly.
most of the people that were
but it's,
posting
you
had
know,
never read a single word
they
Stephen
know
Hawking
nothing
ever
about
wrote.
him. But you're right; they just want to be like.
That's what you should do today
That
on
guy
social
was,
media.
That
Wow.
guy was knowledge.
He has a high IQ.
Yeah.
I should
know
post
nothing
something
about
on
him.
Twitter about
And
him.
I don't. Yeah, I will. It's a meme. I'm gonna.
I woke
post
up this
memes
morning
on social
and
media.
I thought to
now.
myself, Self, how am I going to be relevant today on social media?
And that's,
I know.
That's my problem with that, because they didn't know anything about Stephen Hawking. Nothing. Matter of fact, he didn't even have a personality. Nobody cares.
savage.
Seriously, what did he do for me? What did
Nothing for you.
Stephen Hawking do for me? He did
Nothing.
nothing. And he didn't even have a personality.
I wonder if he had a therapy hamster. People are going to be so mad at us. This goes so great.
I hope they are.
I hope they are too.
Oh my God!
Unsubscribe.
That is ridiculous. That is absolutely an atrocity. It's an atrocity to death.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's offensive to death.
That's what it is. Offensive to death.
You know who should be offended here?
Death.
The Grim Reaper.
Boobs.
And this.
That was from The Office.
I'm glad that nobody. I'm glad that YouTube doesn't actually like monitor in the video like right away. Like oh my God, this delete.
That's not good.
Delete.
Your video is offensive.
Delete.
Oh, man.
Oh my God. So
Anyway, so I land. I turn on. Well, we're coming back around circle. I remember saying something about this before. The airplane mode. This is how we got off on this whole entire tangent. So the airplane mode comes off when we land, and I get a text from my wife that says, "I'm trying to hold it together." Luther had jumped.
That was an awful day.
And is paralyzed, and I'm like, what? And so I'm getting this series of texts that are
I'm not trying not to laugh, but he was like, it was like he had PTSD. He's like, it was an awful day. Like, yeah, that was fucking D-Day, brother. That's
that producer has seen some stuff.
He's got a 1,000-yard stare right
Yeah,
now.
it's like the meme, you know, like it's the war in the background, like when you think about 5 days ago.
Oh my gosh.
So
wait, just real quick. It reminds me of we were coming on duty at working. I was working noons in Detroit, and these guys had just gotten away from an apartment fire, a really, really, really bad apartment fire, and this brand new guy was coming in. I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he had the 1,000-yard stare, and I think that was like the first time I've actually seen like real like I just saw some things I can't unsee, like because it was a bad
Yeah.
apartment fire, and I was just like, what the hell's that guy's problem? And they're like, yeah, they was due to the bad apartment, and I'm like, okay,
Apartment fires, eh? Well, see you later.
Well, see you later. Big gulps in apartment fires, huh? Well, see you later. So I just thought, anyway. So go ahead.
Well, I'm grateful that it turns out that the underpaid producer stepped in my absence, because I was thinking, this sounds
Well
so
done.
bad. If they're gonna have to put the dog down, I'm gonna have to like fly back home.
Oh, by the way,
wanna
Mom
be
was
there.
making fun of you for that.
Oh,
Why was Mom making fun of me?
She goes,
when she's
He
probably
goes-
made the issue. She probably made such a huge issue of
Hey,
it.
wait a
he goes,
second.
no, hold on.
Be
This is what
reactive.
happened. This is what happened. You're texting her, and you're like, well, do I need to fly back? Do I need to do this? And Mom goes,
Well, you
why
have
is
to
she
make
even
him sound
talking
gay
about
right
that?
now, like that. Like he's just like, I don't need to do this.
Yeah, he gave me an accent.
He did. He gave you a
So-
German.
And this
so
is
do I
what
need to come back home. I'm serious.
that's what it was seeming like from what Mom was saying.
oh,
Listen,
we are
she
gonna
got
have some words.
explaining to do.
And no, but
Mama's got some splaining to do.
but listen,
Oh,
she was
yeah.
like, I was like, he probably just doesn't want to travel. She's like, yeah, that's probably what it is.
I had already traveled.
you know you
I
can't
have
win,
to-
right?
I have to fly back home.
That just proves
no
you
matter
can't win.
when
She
I
just-
do it.
I said that it just
the
didn't
only way
seem
to-
like you wanted to be in Tampa
It's
anymore.
the only way I get back home.
And he doesn't help. He exasperates. See, that's my
I'm
new word.
thanking him. I'm complimenting him, and this is what he does to me.
You know what he did?
I'm literally just
He
telling
just-
you what happened.
He just put a dry piece of poop in the back of your hair in the tub. You have poopy water that you have to clean off yourself.
Jeez.
Good Lord!
Listen.
I can't believe that just happened. She's got
Was
explaining.
Mom not
oh,
a hot mess?
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
well, then
it's true.
how's that? How are you the bad guy, Mike?
I'm
I'm
thinking,
not saying you're the bad. I'm just
Okay.
making fun of you for like being.
I know
all,
that. Like,
That makes
she
sense.
obviously
I have to fly
she obviously
home.
handled it. In our 22 years of marriage.
Well, we thought we were
a
gonna
lot
have
of-
to. We thought we were gonna have to put the dog
Right.
down.
A lot of my different job stuff has required traveling. Like,
Yeah.
it's a thing where she's basically had to kind of run the house. You know, I'm gone. That kind of a thing. Hey, it's 2018, equal rights. You know, clearly I'm going to run this by before I say anything else to our president of our diversity team. Are we on track here? Am I?
Our CEO.
We're not offending. Okay.
Thumbs up. We have a thumbs up.
I mean, so I let my wife sometimes take some responsibility when I'm gone because somebody's
not
got
smart.
somebody's got to teach her.
It's not necessarily smart because she's a woman.
Girls.
Yeah,
Right.
You don't know what you're going to get when
We're-
you do
we're
that.
dealing with
but we
women.
do it right. We do it because
Sometimes you got to give them a little rope, to
Yeah.
hang themselves with, so that
Yep.
they
So
learn
know
their
how
lesson.
How much you're needed.
Yeah,
And how much they
so that they
need you.
understand why it's important that I'm there.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I get it.
Thank you.
I get it.
So I'm freaking out because, like, well, what happened? He's just running around the living room like he always does, right? Jumping around, playing, and when he jumped and came back down, he just landed the wrong way or whatever, and whatever it was that happened, it caused him to basically be paralyzed on his back half. So he had no function in the back part of his body.
He bruised his spine.
Basically, is
The,
what
the guy said
so-
that it's his disc popped out like a little bit, and then it like all of the jelly that was in there like shot out and hit his spine.
I don't think he was ready for that jelly.
I was going to say just
His back was
that
too
is the
bootylicious.
most like. Can you? I was going to say the way he describes that. Like
That's what he
First
told-
of all, it
that's what
sounds
the-
pretty gross.
That's
I feel
what
like
the
he
vet
was,
told me.
he
But
was
in
sliding up
different ways.
X-rays onto
Yeah.
the. As you can see here in the dogs L4.
You can see the spurt of jelly. That's just it's. You can see by the
Listen, I don't want to get
spattering.
technical. Think about it like a sack of jelly.
Okay. Also, this vet, by the way, really awesome guy, but he kept saying this
At the
thing.
specialist?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the
Yeah,
neurology
basically
people.
we took them to the Grey's Anatomy and it cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
I literally spent the max amount of money
Well,
I'm
where did
willing
you
to
go
spend on
to?
this
Where did
dog.
you go to? We may have been there.
Okay, we go to Cahill Veterinary Clinic in Flat Rock for our normal vet, and that's
But
who's like, we can't go any further than we have. Go to the specialist;
Right.
they'll take good care of you.
We don't have
Because
one.
their prognosis was give Sherry a hug and say, "I'm so sorry."
Right.
This is a last ditch effort to not put him down. Otherwise, this is going to be very expensive to fix.
So when they airlifted,
too expensive for
when
me.
they airlifted the dog over to the, what happened then? Was it the burn unit or was it a whole different, like the spinal division?
What? We brought him in, and
They
the
were
guy-
walking next to the gurney. I'm coming. We need you back, ma'am and sir.
No, what
Push
him
him out of the
is
double doors while they
squeezed,
rush
they
Luther into
squeezed
surgery.
us into
As
their
they're going
schedule,
by.
and in reality, we waited out in the van with Luther in the back whimpering for 3 hours. 3 hours because
I think you were expecting more of a response from this guy than this.
So what was he saying over and over again? We got to get to a real topic. So
he kept saying,
"Tell me the story."
If he's painful, that's what he said. If he's painful, instead of saying like
he's in pain.
Instead of saying if he's in pain or experiencing pain, he says if he's painful, if he shows signs of being painful. I'm like, that's not English.
Why do I trust my dog with you?
I thought at first he was referring to you were referring to what is the dog saying, like as it's whimpering,
no.
and it's probably going like, I want to be Stephen Hawking. I want to be Stephen Hawking.
Just end it all now.
I just want to go see my master.
That's crap. Welcome home.
All right, so the long story short of it, it was very stressful for me to know that here I have my Anna and Josiah basically look at Luther like a freaking brother.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
I also love my dog. I really do. He's a turd. He is a psychological mess.
Yeah, he's a dog.
I hate him a lot of times, just for normal stuff. But it's kind of like a love-hate thing. I
created him.
I love the thing.
You created him.
You made him. I was there.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment.
The issue is I'm not going to spend more on a dog than I can even afford to spend on my own children or kids or whatever.
We did that, didn't we, Joyce?
Oh boy, I don't want to. Oh, we don't need.
How much was it? Over 5,000.
Shut up. See, you did something. I literally told Sherry after she went to the vet and then it was $600. I said, I had to tell her, I'm like I know.
I know.
We don't have any more money to spend on the dog because the MRI was going to be like $2,000 to $3,000 plus a surgery. I'm like, we cannot go down that path. That can't happen.
And how long ago was that we did that? Like $5,500.
Yeah, you're welcome. By the way,
That was like 15.
2005, maybe.
Yeah.
No,
was like-
2003.
Yeah, it was like almost 15 years ago that was that price. And so we made that mistake. And so we talked about it after because everything was happening so fast with our dog,
Right.
with our Dane, and his stomach twisted. He had blown.
Yeah.
And so we discussed it, and we came to the conclusion that Joyce is like, no matter how much I cry, you don't do that again. Basically, like that's how we like. And I was like, okay, so no matter how much you turn on the waterworks, this is not happening again, right? And she was full agreement with that.
Well,
you know what I mean? But it was that was something.
when we were walking out of the
It's just the way it
specialist
is.
place, Mom was like, "Are you sure I shouldn't get an MRI?" I'm like, "Mom," I was like, "No, Dad would kill us." I was like,
And
and
then
then
the
the dog
funeral's
being
gonna
dead is
cost
bad.
Mom, Dad will kill us. He will kill us
I was
and
like-
bury us with the dog.
And it will just be.
But it was
Yeah,
it was cool
Josiah.
that he
wouldn't
offered
even-
the option.
I wouldn't have even waited for a flight. I would have taken the rental car that was only state use only and driven home.
You would have driven home with a polka band.
I would have killed my family in a
if
rage.
you'd have had to.
but I would.
Who made this dog live?
You can't say that stuff anymore.
Oh,
You can't talk
diversity
about
team.
that.
Can you see what you can,
Can
work
you
out with the
verify
government on that?
I approve it.
I love our diversity team.
She just approves everything. She just has this little stamp. She's like,
sounds good.
Yep, she's just stamping. Approved. This seems like it could be controversial if I
the
say I'm
vet-
going to kill
the
my
vet
family.
really didn't-
That's all right.
The vet really didn't push that on us. He was like, "Listen," he's like, "I would not do any of that." That's what he said to us. He's like, "Don't do that. Just give him 2 weeks to heal. He still has feeling in his legs, so give him 2 weeks to
that's
heal,
interesting.
and then we can talk about the options."
see,
That is the only option.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I thought
know.
give him a Stephen
Oh, yeah,
Hawking
that is the only
a
option.
doggy chair.
Oh my God, that would be great.
Like let Luther bark through a straw. Something.
Romp.
Bark. A straw. May I have a treat? Whatever.
It'd be like this. Bark. I don't know why this got to keep coming up to the speaker and then come back.
Yeah.
again.
Yes. Whatever. But yes, I'm glad. It was just hard for me. It was stressful for me to I'm very grateful for the underpaid producer.
He
that
stepped up.
He was there to
He
step
stepped up.
the dog is 100 pounds solid, dog.
Yeah.
Came in, carried it.
He had his
there with his
girlfriend
mom.
carry it, and so
No,
good.
his girlfriend's out of town.
Not right now.
Was.
Oh.
Yeah,
She
you better
just
hope that
texted
she
me
was,
and
but
said
otherwise
somebody
you
that
are getting
at
stuck
the
with that.
Pep assembly just passed out, and and an ambulance had to come and get him during tug of war because apparently he has a history of using steroids and like cocaine and stuff.
Oh.
So that's great.
I've been living
just
off
got that-
steroids and
and
cocaine
cocaine.
Guys,
for the last 20
Guys,
years. That's why I
whatever-
haven't slept in 4 days.
what other podcast can you listen to where you're going to get an up to the moment
Oh,
notice
yeah.
that someone passed out from excessive cocaine and steroid use at a tug of war competition
Yep.
at a high school?
And that's not just Insta Twitter either. That's real stuff.
That's real
So,
time news, folks.
Yeah. So okay, so we.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
all. So it was just stressful. I am glad to be back home. The dog can take 3 or 4 steps before
Convalescent.
the dog gives his legs give out. He's healing. It seems he's on medication. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Now I got to work extra and pay for this stupid dog. So between
What a dumb dog.
between Stephen Hawking's death, my dog going to the hospital, therapy hamsters being flushed down the toilet,
Oh.
dogs being killed on United. So a lot of
on purpose by the
Clearly.
flight attendants.
just kill me. It's been a stressful week.
It's been a stressful week. That was just our week in review.
That was how long?
Dude.
It is it's 2:50.
We've been going for 51 minutes.
This is the longest week in review ever.
I hope people enjoy this one.
That's the whole podcast.
Yeah.
No, it's
yeah,
not.
The podcast is Week in Review and Dave's Final Days.
And Dave's final days.
Are we
Dave
doing
going
it?
the way of the Hawking. That would get some. That would go, even
probably
our diversity team might deny that title.
Should I Photoshop?
Are we good?
We're good.
I wish we had that on video.
We're good.
I wish you could see
comes
what I
over with
see
a
with the diversity team. Comes around the corner with the thumbs up.
Just like this. Okay. And then right back to it.
Should I
What if we
Photoshop?
just titled this our Asian diversity team?
Oh, God.
This is great.
There's so many things we could label this.
Oh,
This
there's
is
a
a
lot-
good
there's a
one.
lot of
Should I,
options.
should I Photoshop Dave like bent like this?
Our thumbnail alone would get us banned from YouTube. We would get suspended on YouTube.
Demonetized.
I guarantee
Every
we would
video
get suspended.
demonetized.
Diversity CEO, how do we look on that one? We
So
have
he
a
gave us
thumbs
the
up.
thumbs up. What could go wrong?
God, it's fantastic. Holy crap.
Okay, let's.
Oh, shit.
All right,
This
I know
is
you have
awesome.
like this hotel date thing. Are we going to be able to cover an actual topic?
I don't know.
That's not a segment.
That,
That's later. You can play that later for your hotel date. What's gonna be great, Joyce, is he's been awake for 4 days, and finally, like, you guys are gonna be like,
yeah.
she's gonna turn on, Marvin Gaye or
Of course.
or Rammstein, whatever you guys do when you do your thing, and
Or Rage Against the
she's- yeah.
Machine.
Korn's Freak on a Leash is gonna be at 11. She turns around romantically, and you're like, finally cashed out.
Because I have to do that.
Finally cashed out. Oh my goodness. So it's your schedule right now. Can we do 15ish minutes maybe?
Oh yeah,
on-
we're
on the,
we're
on the
good
school
right
topic?
now.
Okay,
I mean this is great, but we didn't. You're like crying.
I was laughing. I'm laughing so hard.
You
dude.
make me laugh because
I cry when
if
I
you
laugh.
guys have not seen when. Hey, Joyce, are you ready for that hotel night? she's like,
the diversity team says yes.
it's a go. Oh my gosh, it already threw me off. Oh, when you laugh so hard you cry, you guys have got you. If you have not ever seen it, it is one of the greatest things
I'm
to
a
witness.
crier
Have I
when
told
laugh.
you?
Oh, it's
I did,
fantastic.
Have I
I'm not
told you
crying, I'm
that-
just tearing up.
Have I told you that
it's
Well, that's
pass
what I'm
out
saying.
story?
It's that good
What,
though.
the what?
The pass out story of you laughing one time?
No, it's
so
funny.
back in the
I wish there was
days,
video of this.
back in the days of us, like when we did all of those Instagram short videos and vines, I forget what video it was, but we were editing something, and then we started making fun of like old people laughs when it's like, like that. And so,
Don't get me started on
So
that.
he
I'm
starts-
I'm a professional.
so he starts going, and like I start doing it back, and we start laughing, and
we were
it
laughing
turns
at
into
the-
real
at the laugh?
laughter, and he's going like this, like. for like a minute straight, and he's straight up.
My legs.
His legs gave out. He falls down, and he's like holding onto the doorknob, and he's like, he looks up at me and goes, "Who was supposed to?" Yeah, and he was. It was legit out of nowhere. It was legit out of nowhere. It was just like.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I literally like I was almost completely out, and my legs gave out, and I fell to the ground holding onto the doorknob because I just had no more oxygen left in my body.
That was so fantastic. Oh my gosh, that actually hurts. My chest hurts now a little bit. Oh my gosh, that was awesome.
That's the best story
Mike, thank
my
you.
dad that I've ever experienced with my dad.
Thank you so much for that.
That's all I've
guys.
offered.
Thank you so much.
That's all
for
I've
that.
offered you in this life.
If that's all,
Tell
it is,
that story
we're
at my
good.
at my
We're good.
funeral.
That's worth it. That's worth it.
See,
should
I want to
animate-
be memed when I
We
die.
should animate that.
Feel
story.
free to meme me right away.
Oh, it's just a matter of time.
You already have some ready.
I'm like, oh man, this is more ammo. Hold on. Oh, that's fantastic. So what were we going to talk about now? I forgot. Were we going to do
Walking out.
Were we going to do the news or no?
We don't have time.
I know. Can we do it real quick?
Okay.
First of all, because I like to hear hear our new drop, and I just have a real quick one.
Okay. It's on you.
Okay.
Back to you, Dave.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Fox News has reported that 93% of bottled water contains microplastics, the study says.
Wow.
No shit.
I would have never guessed that plastic bottles would contain any plastic at
I
all.
know a study by Orb Media, well known for
Very
their
well known.
water
Their,
studies.
their coverage of the water quality of the Olympics was, if I do say so myself, riveting.
You're talking about the Russian one, right? Yes. Because that was fantastic. Also,
Riveting.
the State University of New York at Fredonia, which
Whoa. That place?
you know they're famous for their horticulture program.
I applied for the program. I wasn't qualified.
Well, I know, Mike. That's because you're from Michigan. But they made headlines this week, and that's what it says, for reporting that of 250 water bottles sourced from 11 brands in 9 different countries, 93% of the samples were contaminated.
What countries?
With microplastics. Testing bottles of Aquafina, Bisleri, Dasani, Epuri, Evian, Nestle, Samba, Wahaha water from India, Indonesia, Kenya, Mexico, and the U.S.
Could the numbers have been skewed maybe from India?
From what I understand, 240 of the bottles came from other countries, 10 came from the U.S. No, I'm just kidding. I just totally made that up. But it might as well be the freaking news on that one, right? So that was, I just thought that was important for everyone to know.
Be
Meanwhile,
careful out there, guys, that are hydrating.
Yeah. Yep. It says that there are some that have had over 10,000 plastic pieces per liter, and I'm thinking, what does that even mean?
Does that even matter? Because won't that just go
right
through my,
through your system,
my
right?
digestive
It's
system and be done?
micro level.
We're not
just-
burning
it'll
it in
just
our
be-
system,
it'll just
right? I
be
mean, like,
caught
it's
in
like-
my
Is it cutting you as you go through like micro cuts?
I know.
Of plastic.
I just thought that was.
Well, I drink a water bottle water bottles every single day, and I'm still kicking. So
That's right, Mike. And so that is why it is the news.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Oh, I mean, I didn't make the news
Thanks
up.
for,
It is real.
Hey, you know what? But you're keeping us informed,
Well,
and that's what matters.
you know who's keeping us informed?
On the news
As
that
I
matters.
have to reread it because it's a pretty complicated name. Orb Media and the State University of New York at Fredonia.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so. Okay, so on to the next.
Their croquette team, I think, was they actually
93, I believe. 93 or 94?
in '93. I believe they made the qualifiers for Division 18 croquet.
I remember that.
The best team they've ever had.
Wow.
And I
Well
mean, I know not
done.
everybody's a big fan of yard croquet, but I mean,
Well, not everybody.
They wrote the book on that.
Well, they rewrote the book on that because if you remember, their uniforms were a bit risque at the time.
Big controversy at the time. Yeah, they had gone up to half-calf level when
half-calf knickers, and everybody was still doing the other thing.
The full length.
Well, they were going full length, kind of like baseball would do, but
yeah.
So
then
well
some teams had done the stirrups, but then they took the stirrups off, and it was a bare calf, and it was a. I don't know if you guys remember, but that was an ordeal.
The weirdest part was because after that, when the '95 team came out with the assless chaps. Okay. Anyway, we've regressed, I think. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So is it? Should we have a drop for when we actually talk about a real topic?
No, because we're not going to end up talking about it anyway.
We are. We're going to talk about it right now. I sound like such a.
Don't you tear up on me,
We've been going for an hour and 1 minute now.
That's good.
so.
That's good. I like this. There was a big walkout this last week
Yeah, huge. Yippee.
that started out allegedly for. Now, this I would have been completely supporting of if it was what they said it was.
Yeah.
To memorialize the 17 people who lost their lives in Parkland.
Let me say something. I just want to say this one
He's
thing
like, I walked out.
because I had a conversation
he was
with
here by himself, and he walked outside.
For 17 minutes. He only went for 16. Like, I'm not going to say
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, diversity team. Do you approve of what Dave just said?
She wasn't listening.
She's like, so.
Well, she probably would not have.
So, thumbs down.
But isn't this a whole nother podcast? Like your next?
No, we're doing the same one.
She doesn't listen. This is why she doesn't listen.
This is why.
We're learning live from audience feedback, live
She's
audience.
taking off her headphones
She's like,
and everything.
what-
She's done.
I didn't know if I should go get my coffee or.
Oh my God!
Depends
do
if
whatever
if
you want,
it
hon. If you, we're not going to be here much longer.
Okay, then I'll say.
Maybe.
or not.
But I was
You want your
talking
headphones so you
to
can hear?
my
Go ahead.
girlfriend who's still in high school, and
here
she
we go.
and she said
so much.
she was like, I don't know if I should like participate because it's becoming something that it's not supposed to be.
Right.
She was like, it's not. All these kids are making it about anti-gun and
Well, that's pretty
and
much what
she was
I'll
like,
say this, okay? I'll say my piece, and then you can say yours, and we'll discuss. So, I think the original concept that I understood it to be was, okay, on this day there's going to be kids are going to walk outside, and they're going to memorialize. They'll be out for 17 minutes, okay? And that was to memorialize, commemorate the lives lost that day at a school. So for a school to say, hey guys, we're going to do this thing where we go outside and we remember, for these minutes, this whole period of time, I'm okay with that. We have prayer at the pole or different little things like that. That's fine. But it became this political stance that was clearly anti-gun. And the problem was that some of these schools were doing it as a matter of compulsory action. Like, this is what we're doing.
Yes.
And there was no room, so little room for debate on the matter or personal decision on the matter that I saw this morning. There was a teacher in California who I mentioned to you earlier. She had opened up dialogue in the class and encouraged the kids to talk about their participation or what they thought about it and educate themselves and discuss. And she wasn't indoctrinating them. She was suggesting, go have a conversation with your parents about this. This is an important moment in time. All of the stuff that's going around us is things that are going to be in the history books. You're living that now. She's trying to bring that to the table, and she was suspended for even opening the dialogue because one student and parent were offended.
Yeah.
And don't quote me on the one student, one parent. It might have been two parents, one student that came forward. Something small comparatively to the entire classroom came forward. They were offended that the teacher would even suggest that there should be any other option than walking out. So, to me, and what really ticks me off is seeing things like the civil rights movement and marches that happened then being compared to this. It really, really ticks me off because most of these children that are walking out as a matter of, oh, that's just what we're doing today at school. Instead of learning something during that time, they're being basically like, oh, we're doing the walkout today. And they don't even know why. They have no grasp of the issues. They're not making a decision. It's not a group of people who have been abused, discarded, discredited, mistreated,
Right.
and then they're marching out in solidarity to say we deserve to be treated with equal dignity under the law.
Right.
This is not an issue like that. This is a political issue. First of all, I mean, we're not even going to get into all gun rights stuff, but I just felt like we are not doing these kids any favors to help us.
The opposite.
We're not helping them understand our history. We're not helping them understand the importance of civil disobedience or protest, peaceful protest. We are not helping them understand the value of that when it's appropriate by doing this.
I agree with everything that you said. I think that the problem I have is that when the media, whether it's social media, national news, local news, whatever, makes a story out of something, it appears that any time there is a dissenting opinion, it is of the wrong opinion.
Right.
And that's kind of where my problem is, so that all of a sudden, just like the teacher that you described, where we can no longer use critical thinking and questioning why we do things. It's like that doesn't exist. And so we are not doing our kids a favor. We're doing them a disservice, because what we're telling them is that this is what you have to do. You protest on the side of what we tell you to and don't think any differently. But if you do think any differently, well, then this is what happens to you.
Right.
And yet, I don't know about you, Mike, and I've been doing this job in policing for a long time, so I actually consider myself, and I don't care what anybody says, a pretty good judge of character, of humanity. And I can tell you without a doubt, in 20 years of service to the public, that I have only met a literal handful, less than that, of actual bad apples, of people that no matter what you've done in life, no matter who they've hung out with,
The switch is broken.
That it's been broken from the very beginning.
Right.
So what we are seeing is that there are. Where do we draw the line? Because why are we protesting something like this? Because really, that's what it is. It's not. It wasn't about honoring 17 lives. If that was the case, then why are we not honoring and without? And I don't even care if this appears racial, but we have a disproportionate amount of violence of young black men that are, and if you've, the problem is, I see it. There are brilliant young black men that I look at. I'm saying, why would you break the law? Why would you do this? Why have you been in jail 20 times? And there are disconnects there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but why do we not? When a young black man is killed, why is that not a thing? I mean, look at just the city of Chicago, the amount of issues that they have there, and we don't even live anywhere near. We're not in Chicago. We're Detroit, which is just as bad, and yet we don't actually talk about that, because we don't want to talk about. We don't want to talk about bad guys or things that we perceive as bad guys. We want to talk about people we perceive as victims, but we don't want to talk about society creating young people, not just young black men, but young people as criminals, or the kind of the routes that they choose because they don't have family in their lives, because they feel like they've been disenfranchised, that they have no future, that their schooling is horrible, that they have no money to reach where they want to go, all that other stuff. We don't even want to approach that. And I know that's a huge story, but
we would probably agree on this. Again, like, as you guys know, I purposely at this point I try not to cover any of this stuff ahead of time, like, so that we have a real Like what you're hearing is really us just talking. But the problem, I think, and I'm by no means some genius psychologically or anything.
Yes, you are.
Okay, I am. Here's the issue. What's easy to happen when people see something like the Parkland shooting, Sandy Hook, any of these other, like, unbelievably, painfully tragic things happen, we need a reason. And so what's easy is for us to label something as bad.
Yes.
And so if life would be so much better if we just got rid of all the guns, right? We don't blame the perpetrator.
Right.
We don't want to identify the real problem, because what that would take is actual effort and thought and care and a lot of hard work. We don't do that. So when you're talking about like violence that is just rampant in places that doesn't ever get coverage, Chicago, Detroit, whatever.
Ever.
This is why
They give stats, but they don't ever give
This is why
anything
people
else.
will hate on the police, because they're like, well, why can't they just do this? Because they're not exposed to the devastation that is really happening in a lot of ways.
Right.
And here's the problem. It's hard to say fatherless homes and bad family environments are really the problem, because that would mean we'd be politically incorrect, because that can't possibly be the reason. We have to have an object, a third inanimate object that we want to blame for our problems, that if we just got rid of that, then the problem would be solved. And the reason they don't want to mention Chicago or ever deal with the root cause of problems like fatherless homes, economic environments, other things like this, that would require too much honesty about the human condition.
Absolutely.
And what it would actually take to solve it. And it has become the politically incorrect, so it pushes us to blame the third objective thing that is inanimate. And if we could just get rid of that, and we perpetuate that cycle. Every generation is going to have, if we could only get rid of this, we'd be better. And really, we just keep taking culture in cycles, because we never solve the problem, which is that humanity is deprived, and I'll say sinful. They're broken.
Right.
And we need a solution to that. And political correctness hasn't provided that, and demonizing weapons hasn't done that, and it will never do that.
The slow clap.
Oh, that's a slow clap. I thought it was gunshots.
I know.
was
I'm like, hey, that's inappropriate.
Seems inappropriate at the time.
But for me, I look at it like, how often have you seen, if we're being completely honest, where you'll say, you'll see the argument of, well, when a white kid does it, he's got a mental illness, but when a black guy does it, he's a thug. But the reality is this: if we start trying to classify that. First of all, I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to say, because you're not actually trying to address an actual issue.
Right.
And the actual issue is a mental disconnect. Mm-hmm. Like you said, there's an issue going on that devalues and dehumanizes others. And so anybody who kills somebody or murders somebody,
right,
willfully murders somebody, has got a mental disconnect. It
Right.
doesn't matter who they are.
Right.
It could be white, black, whatever, turquoise. It doesn't matter. And yet we don't want to address that. Mm-hmm. That it's all the same problem.
Right, because they have no actual solution.
None.
I'm saying boldly that I'm identifying the problem. You can disagree with me. That's okay.
Absolutely.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
But the problem is people.
Yeah.
And the fact that the government or news can't provide the solution, we scurry in the darkness.
Yeah, because
to
that's what we look for to do it
to
for some
grasp
reason.
on
Or
to
politicians.
to a reason, to a something to blame, to something that's fixable, right? Like a car, as if humanity was as simple as mechanics.
Yeah.
If we just took this away, then people wouldn't kill anybody anymore.
Yeah, we plug in the monitor to see what's wrong with it.
And this
is it. So let's
exactly.
fix it.
And I'm not trying to be as simplistic as saying like, Cain killed Abel with a rock, so blame the rock. I'm not trying to be overly simplistic. I'm not saying. I mean, I believe that I believe that I have a worldview that offers a solution that's reasonable in my Christian faith. I believe that.
Yeah.
We can talk about that, but. That's when I look at this from a distance as a member of this society, I just keep over and over and over again. Everybody recognizes and agrees on one thing. This is terrible. But they're refusing to put the blame where it belongs.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Because it's not politically correct anymore to blame actual people for actual crimes.
But so much so, Mike, that what we've done is we've actually even categorized categories into categories into categories to even separate that. Yeah. Instead of just saying, look, we have a human condition here, we have a violent we have an issue with violence. Why is that? We don't care. So what we'll do is we'll even separate it with rich and poor. We will separate it with Chicago and Detroit. We'll separate with so many things, but we won't actually get to the heart of it. And again, it becomes it's a human disconnect. Yeah. That's really where the problem is. So you can say there's a mental illness because that does exist, but but either way, you can say that there's a broken home. Either way, it's not as simple as that. It's a human disconnect. Yeah. You no longer value human life. Yep. And why are we there? Why are we? It's not a gun that does that. Right. It's not a knife that does it. It's not a car that does that. Yes. It's not overeating that does that. Right. What is it that does that? And so that's the $1 million question that nobody wants to even look at answering.
Right. Because that requires more than just legislation.
Way more. Politicians can't even touch it.
Right. You can't. So you can't legislate morality that way.
In your face, politicians.
In that sense.
I know.
I mean, well, that's another thing. Yes, I understand that morality meets laws. I get that. But try not to miss my point. But at the end of the day, I feel like we live in this culture where changing your Facebook profile picture or walking out or whatever else makes us feel as though we're addressing the issue, when in reality it's actually a subtle way of ignoring it. Right. And we need voices that call us back to really thinking about things, and even if that opinion differs from yours, listening and moving forward with something that actually makes a difference and isn't just uninformed, contradictory approaches to our problems.
Which is ridiculous. So, like, even if we were to talk about like you said, changing your Facebook picture or whatever, you care enough. If you care, what we're saying is, if you care enough to address the issue in the first place, then look a little bit further into it. And if there's something extra that you can do, if you're that concerned about it, if there's something extra you can do, man, do it. Try to be involved, you know what I mean, or at least try to find out what's going on. Because I'm not saying that changing your profile picture is good or bad or whatever. I don't care. I just don't do it. But in the end, except for Harambe, that was
R.I.P.
Yeah. But anyway, but in the end, that's one of those things where if you care enough, look more into it. Maybe you can even do more than that. You don't know. Maybe you can volunteer someplace. Maybe you can make the difference in somebody's life. Yeah. If we want to talk about white kids with mental illnesses, well then fine, do that. If that's how you want to categorize it, great. If you want to talk about thug young black men, fine. Although I can tell you, there's probably only been a handful in my life of human beings that are that thug, that bad apple stuff. The rest have been, and I'm sure you would agree, brilliant in their own way, because even if somebody's a career criminal, some of the things that people do, young men do, are absolutely brilliant, and some of them are fantastic people. It would blow people's minds. I think, and again, a lot of times as a young police officer, you always think, well, they're all dirtbags. Everybody's a dirtbag who even speeds. I mean, but we know, with that wisdom, right, that's just not the way life is. And we meet so many, especially young people. They're brilliant. They're great. They're amazing people. Yeah. But man, we can't categorize them as that though, Mike, because that's not going to help anything, right? We have to address a whole different issue. Let's address a gun instead, you know? So, yep. I think we just solved everything.
Well, yep. I don't understand why we don't fix the world. We even have a diversity team.
Yeah, a diversity team. How do you think? Do you think we actually? Do you think we've pretty much solved it all?
We solved the world's problems today.
Yep. We get a thumbs up.
We have a thumbs up, folks.
She's the best.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks so much for continuing to listen. Please do us a favor. We forgot to mention a sponsor earlier. If you've made it this far, we love you. BlackRifleCoffee.com.
Oh, yes.
Thin Blue Line is the code. Get 20% off.
I still want this shirt.
They're helping humanize the badge, so we appreciate that. And, hey, you know what? Tell a friend. Tell a friend about this podcast.
And then they told two friends. And so on.
Yeah.
And so
we're going to turn this podcast into a pyramid scheme. And so
some kind of Ponzi scheme.
There is money in this for you eventually. All right. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Give us that music, baby. Give us.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. I hate to throw it down like this because you know how the ladies like this. Like this. Like this.
Yeah.
See that?
Throw them shoulders in there.
See that? See, I think I just threw something.